great transgression against God's elect also is a part of that very same prophecy. So this is the 79th coronation of His Imperial Majesty, and by 2012 it would be roughly the 82nd, or roughly the same number of years as they say that His Imperial Majesty lived. You understand that? We have the coronation 1930. You see the link with the dates. Look at the mathematics. Do the math on it. If you do the math on it, this is the 79th, 2009. 2012, it would be, what, the 82nd, almost the very same as the number of years they attribute or ascribe to the King of Kings of Ethiopia. What are the chances and likelihood, you understand, of these numerical significance, 1892, 2012, 120 years? You understand? Coronation, same number of years, 2012, as the visible presence of Haile Selassie I. From 1892, they say, to 1975, and they roughly estimated it, depends on who you read, but they roughly estimate roughly 82 years. Thus, from 1930 to 2012, you also have the same number of years. So just look at the mathematics right there. That's just basics. That's just basics. This is more than just that, but that's just some basics right there. So this is why this particular coronation and coronation in general pertaining to the King of Kings is significant, because coronation is the proof, you understand, of His Imperial Majesty being what is interpreted as, you understand, the Christ. What is interpreted? You don't understand what we're talking about? Read John's Gospel, chapter 1, verse 41, where it says, Mashihina genya tanalena yosentorguame wima Christos maletano. In other words, we have found the Mashiach, or the Moshiach, the Messiah, which is being interpreted according to John chapter 1, verse 41, which is being interpreted the Christ. So when people say, is Haile Selassie the Christ, what are they telling us? Or what are they saying by that? They're saying that they're coming from a Gentile point of view, you understand? Or a Gentile misinterpretation or misunderstanding. They come from a Gentile perspective when you say Christ, because the Bible even tells you that they had found the Messiah, you understand, which is a corruption of Messiah, but still it links now with the same Messiah pointed out to us in Daniel, as well as the other prophetic scriptures. If you go from a Hebraic point of view, if you look at the Bible from a King James translated point of view only, then you are in a Gentile mindset, a Gentile point of view. You understand? That means you only at best understand according to interpretation. But if you want to overstand, you have to return to the original language and original text to really put it together, because even the Bible hints us at that, such as when it says we have found the Messiah, which is being interpreted the Christ. And then in chapter 4, verse 25, the Samaritan woman says that concerning Christ, that we know that the Messiah cometh, that is called Christos, that is called the Christ. And she says, because she come from Samaria, and they did not have perfect understanding, they didn't know who they were worshiping, they didn't really fully understand. And we know the background of the Samaritans linked to the other video that we touched on concerning 2 Kings chapter 17. And those other peoples, where northern Israel was repeopled by the king of Assyria with a bunch of foreign peoples who pretended themselves and made themselves believe, and everybody else believes to this very day, that they were Israelites or so-called Jews. You understand? The so-called Samaritans. And the Samaritan woman in John chapter 4, verse 25, she says, we know that Messiah cometh, that the Messiah, she says Messiah, not Mashiach. That's even another key, that the Samaritans had an imperfect knowledge. This is why Christ would say to the Samaritan woman that salvation is of the Jews, or salvation is of the tribe of YIHUDA, of Moa Anbesa Ze'ima Negeda YIHUDA. Now, if you look at Daniel chapter 9, verse 25, it's very interesting in the Hebrew. If you look at it from the Hebraic perspective, not from the Gentile misunderstanding, not from the worldly Gentile misinterpreted, mistranslated perspective, it says Moshiach NAGIYD, Moshiach NAGIYD, the Messiah Prince, or the Messiah Captain, or the Messiah Leader. Now pay attention to this word. Ethiopic, the good is Moshiach NAGIYD, Moa Anbesa Ze'im Negeda Moshiach NAGIYD Negeda YIHUDA, from the tribe of Judah. Now what does Christ tell the Samaritan woman? That salvation is of the Judahites, and you Samaritans, so-called Jews, don't know what you worship, just like the Christians don't understand that Haile Selassie is the Moshiach NAGIYD, is the Christ.